Hi, everybody.
Welcome to Meaningful Conversations. I'm Senzi.
My name is Lele.
Yeah,
We are happy to be here,
we are.
and we welcome you. And what are we talking about today, my friend?
I think light in relation to darkness. I also just want to say I hope you guys enjoyed our previous vlog for our Meaningful Conversations event. Don't miss out on the next one. It's gonna be awesome.
We had goodie bags as well. We will always have goodie bags.
Yes.
And I think we are wonderful hosts.
I think so too.
And shout out to Melville.
Spilt milk.
Yeah,
Spilt milk.
Yeah.
Social cafe.
They were amazing.
Yeah.
And they hosted us very well.
Yes, they did.
And each person who came was just
guys, it
amazing.
was awesome.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
We just missed you if you're not there.
If you're not there, come next time. Have meaningful conversations with us, please.
Thank you.
Awesome. So I was just inspired by the fact that I was inspired by a lot of things. But obviously when we do a vlog, you need to think about time. So that is why these events are awesome, because then we don't have to be so conscious of 30 minutes or whatever. All right. But what do you think when I talk about light and darkness?
I'm thinking a lot of things. I'm gonna try and be positive because light and darkness was spoken to me in a very harsh way at some point.
Yeah.
There was a scripture that used to be shared with us that light and darkness don't mix, and it was just like, okay, those who know.
Mm-hmm.
But in relation to the topic we were talking about, it's interesting because one cannot exist without the other. At the same time, one is more, we need one more than the other. But because of darkness, we appreciate light more. So yeah, that's what I think about. And my son is distracting me right now. So, okay, that's done. And yeah, so in terms of what you spoke about, it was so beautiful that you said that in relationships we often require or we have other people's being in their lives, being some sort of a light in our own darkness. And I feel like even with our journey, there were times when I was in a dark place and you were my light. And when you were in a dark place, I was your light. And right now, for me, as you were talking about it, I was thinking of, there's a talk about seasons, but I was in a season where I don't think it's necessarily dark, but it was challenging. But there's a lot of people who have been my light. And because of that, the challenges are not hardening me. They're not making me a hard person, but they're actually allowing me to be molded. Because sometimes when the challenges are too difficult, sometimes if you don't have that light in your community and you're alone, you don't have a choice but to be hard. And so for me, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking that it's a very important topic because we all go through difficult times.
That's true.
And when you are alone, you don't see a way out. It's dark until somebody says, oh, wait, I came through this way and I think there's another route that you can take, and there's lights around the corner or something like that.
I was even thinking about the fact that, sometimes when you're going through that space, there's a point where you feel like you don't want the light.
Yeah.
Unless someone comes in, and even when they try to open up the curtain, and you're like, no, just leave me in my dark space. I don't want to, and there are times when I went through that, and you'd come in and you'd be like, no, but I think if we open up the curtains, it's going to bring in some light, and it's going to, it's going to help you. And the thing with the darkness is that sometimes you will exist in it so much that it becomes comfortable. And it actually comforts you, and it's like, no, don't let the light in. Remain here. This is what you are familiar with, and and it's like you don't even know how you got to a place where that becomes a comfort for you. Because I remember that is what I went through. And I remember there would be times when you would call me and you're like, I'm around the corner and I'm thinking, curtains closed up, but the beauty about it, and this is the power of what light does to us, and you don't think you want it and you don't think you need it, but the minute you come through and the beginning of it, like sometimes you would see that I'm not here, but you would just be around. But I remember every single time you would leave, when you leave, I felt like I can face another day. Okay, today I can face another day. And sometimes you just need that. You just need hope that is enough for today to be able to make it through today. Absolutely. And then the following day you just need hope, and you don't even have to think about the following day. But the hope that you get today is so beautiful, and the light that you get in that day, it's so beautiful that it allowed you for just one moment to feel alive, to feel like, oh man, I think I can face another day. I think I can face another day. So that is what you did for me when I was going through that.
You did the same for me, my friend. I would be chilling there, just okay with watching lame ETV movies, rom-coms. You know how predictable romantic comedy is. It's like you already know what's gonna happen, but you're still watching it.
It's like
I was
action
content.
and all of the other whatever movies.
In my slacks and baggy clothes, and just I was so content. But anyway, you pulled me out of that. And now look at me,
Look at us.
Look at us.
God is good.
It also reminds me of the scripture that says we are the light of the world, and you can't put light under a table. You need to put it somewhere where it illuminates. And the thing about light is appreciated more when there's darkness. Have you seen when you are in the city,
the darker it is, actually,
the darker it is, the more the light is appreciated. And I feel like okay, let me not be controversial, but I think as if whoever you are, wherever you're at in life, you are being light when you bring beauty into somebody's presence. If you're bringing kindness, if you're being, sometimes it's just a smile, sometimes it's just being gracious or patient, like even in traffic, when I can. When God allows me, I'm able to be like, okay, let me give them a turn. And it does something. When somebody does that for me in traffic, like it's a small thing, but when somebody's like, okay, let me let them through, it's like, wow, that is so human. And it does something to my heart and makes me want to do the same when somebody goes through that. It reminds me of what we went through today in the traffic.
Guys, what a long day. It's a topic for another day. But actually, as when we touch up on that one, I'm just thinking about the fact, Jehoram, it's amazing how you grow in those times. It's amazing how you grow, and I'd like to emphasize on community a lot, because like I don't even want to think about how everything would have been if I was not in community. it's scary for me to even think how I was going to function if I was isolated. And here I was going through my own thing by myself, right? I think what really allowed me to pull through is community, and having the right community, because there's communities you can exist in and they can actually become catalysts to having that darkness just engulf you. Toxic communities. And like we have already stated that we are born again, we are Christians spiritually. Jesus is our guide, is our light. It's our template in terms of how to do life, and the Bible is our guideline and where we go through in any type of situation. And the beauty with the community that we have is that the standard is the same. The standard is the same. So, all of us use the same book as reference, and Jesus Christ is a template of what to aspire to become. And I'm not trying to be like, but what I'm saying is that that is where we go in terms of guidance when it comes to light and being able to be in it, exist in it, and be able to take it to others as well, and to feed it also into each other's lives. That is where we go in terms of that.
So I was saying to one of across today that the reference, like, just to support your statement, because we get a lot of input in life, and everywhere you are, your mind is taking in information, you're processing it, you're taking it everywhere. Like everything is a doctrine. Doctrine is not just when you're reading a specific book or even the scriptures. People so when you say I'm indoctrinated, everybody is indoctrinated. You just choose what's indoctrinating you. So I was just saying that if I'm gonna offer advice, for me, I try and filter it through the scriptures, because I trust the scriptures. It's my personal choice. So I'm not gonna give. It's not like I'm giving out of my feelings. Like today I feel like this, tomorrow I feel like that. Once the scriptures say this is wrong, this is wrong. And I was just sharing with you the other time that when I'm faced with relational things and stuff, I often go to the Beatitudes, because there everything is addressed. Sometimes some things I really don't sit well with me, like I was telling you about certain issues and you were telling me about yours. It's not like we don't get annoyed or angry or anything that we go through that are not it's not like we have positive emotions all the time
that allow us to be in a space of feeling like being in a dark space, basically. Because that will be a dark space.
Yes, there we go. So it's not like we don't go through dark spaces and moments and periods, but there's always that mental fight. Okay, I know I feel this way, but what does the scripture say? Sometimes like, I
don't want to hear it.
I must forgive. Why must I forgive this? I must be patient. But
and the you in you is like, I have a very awesome way to handle this situation. Right now.
Very selfish, very self-focused.
Handle it quick.
So like I was telling her that I have moments where I'm like, in traffic, I'm like, I'm gonna teach you a lesson, right? And she was gracious because she was ramming. She was gracious. I'm like, no, I would have done this differently. So I have those.
And it was a long day.
It was a long day.
God.
So, but at the end of the day, there's a safety in knowing, listen, man, words are the right guide. Like, guys, you don't understand how that brings clarity and peace in my life. It reminds me of the psalm where it says that even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for your rod and your staff, they comfort me. What? Yes. What does the rod and the staff do? When you are a shepherd, the rod and the staff are supposed to guide the sheep. You know, and sometimes it's a matter of you know, like
bring it back,
bringing it back. You know, it's not like a nice. Sometimes like so. That's what the scriptures do. It's not always going to be nice for me to hear the things that the scriptures say. It's not always going to be comfortable, and it's not like every time I hear it, I just go into obedient mode. Like I pray. Like sometimes I'm like, I don't know how to do this, Father, but help me. Even if it takes day after day after day. And some of the prayers, some of the things where I am today are things that I used to pray for like almost every day.
Wow.
You know, and I've, like she's seen me, I've grown as a human being, you know. So what I'm trying to say is that it is that the scriptures for me is like me taking in light so that I can give light to somebody. You know, and it's not just a set of rules on how to live life, but it's just a healing process for me because again, the light, it illuminates the darkness in me. So I'm faced with, really?
It's so true.
So much darkness. What are you going to do with the darkness?
It's so true. It's so true. If I had to be able to give any type of guidance or counsel, and everybody, you know, has the right to be able to filter and decide to take what they want to take, you know, from what I'm going to say, what we are saying obviously as a blog, but it is such a practical exercise, you know. It is such a practical exercise. It's a spiritual practical exercise that has become the source of where I'm grateful I was able to be given this tool because it has allowed me to really feel content within myself. Right, amidst everything else, with everything else that is taking place, whether it's through being a mother to my children, being a friend to my friends, being a sister to my sister, how to function in relation to loved ones, in relation to children, in relation to finances, in relation to strangers, in relation to everything. So it has become the source that and a very important tool, you know, in how to do life, period. Right? Like, yeah, that is what I can say. And it's like, it's amazing that in itself, you know, when you read the Bible, there are certain dares within the Bible where God is like, just try it and see. Test it. You know, read it for yourself. Test it.
Do something.
To
prove that.
Like just read the Bible. Take any of these the laws or the teachings and just test and see if what I'm saying is going to happen is not going to happen.
Okay, I like that. I like what you just said.
Do you know what I mean?
In relation to it being practical.
Yes. And that is why for me, you know, reading the Word, reading the Bible, it does not stem only from a point of I'm a born again Christian and it's a religious exercise. No, it's like, oh my gosh.
It's a choice.
It's a choice, and it's like now this is a tool that is important. It's like when you are told, when you did it before you knew how toothpaste is so good, it's so effective for brushing your teeth. You know, you can do other things, right, and use other resources and whatever. But the minute you find out that, no man, this thing is effective, it is good, it is, you know, it does the work, man. Then you start doing it daily, using the toothpaste daily. Why? Because you know it's going to yield the results that you're looking for. So that is what happens. And that is where we are living from in terms of going to the Bible as a guideline. It's like it's effective. And sometimes I might not fully comprehend and understand how it works and how God does his thing and how reading the word specifically and applying it into your life works. But it does. You do receive the peace.
Absolutely, man. So now the question is, in relationships, right? This light, how do you say for instance in I'm going to say John because that's the topic that people would interest people, or a lot of people can relate to it. How does this light help relationships? How does it sustain relationships? Allow people to make mistakes and have the grace for that, and the reason is because I'm learning that I have that grace,
because I myself need it.
I need it. And that's the thing about the cross. The cross is, it's such a gracious thing because it's like, it's not just about forgiveness. It's not about the gift of forgiveness, but it's actually qualifying me to be in the family of the Most High. And if you have a relationship with the Most High, you understand how important that is. But now it's like a King of Kings. It's like people speak of presidents these days, but I feel like kings had a more I don't know how to put it, but things have changed.
Stature or whatever.
Because it's about a kingdom. It's not about democracy. It's a kingdom. So even if he has advisors, but his word goes. So now imagine that when we talk about the Most High, we talk about the King of Kings. Now the cross, the blood, the Messiah qualifies me. When I baptized, qualifies me to exist as a member of this household. It's also in the scriptures. I'm not just, So for me, it means when I'm in the Word, I'm spending time with the Most High, and I'm drawing and I'm learning from who He is. It's like your dad. If you spend time with your dad, you're gonna end up walking like He does, talking like He does, and addressing issues like He does, and
in His presence there's fullness of joy.
In His presence there's fullness of joy. Yeah, because
you can do it for yourself. Just test it. Going to His presence. How I usually do that is like I will play some gospel music, and gospel does not just come in one genre. What?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Now you can have like jazzy.
Only Rebecca Malou.
Not to say there's anything wrong with that. Not to say there's anything wrong with that.
But people tell me about those.
But people have preferences, right? There's hip hop. There's some nice hip hop that I've heard that I listen to, and it's like you are being taught on the word. There's jazzy mixes, there's mapianos, there's different types of music. So you can choose the one that you want to be like, and then take the word and just talk to God. And you tell me if that does not bring you joy.
But for me, it's been like it's a journey. So it's not like a day. Sometimes you will read it and you won't understand what. So sometimes it's a matter of speaking, because we talk. If I don't understand something, I'll share with her. If she's and how would you say?
I think that the beauty, and that is what I'm super grateful for, is you approach every relationship from a place of being full.
Sure.
Right. You're not going to a person and you say, "Mend me, fix me, make me happy, give me peace, do this." Like you approach every relationship you exist in when you are already a full person. So it is from a perspective of adding value into anybody's life, anyone that you have within your circle. It's like you're coming in from a place of no, I'm complete, because I know where to go when I don't feel complete. I know where to go, and I'm not going to give you that burden of being responsible for parts of me that can only be filled by me being, existing within a space of, contentment, right, and being whole, right? So every relationship then becomes a pleasure. It's pleasing. You are pleasing to be around, and when you exist within relationships of people that are also in the space of being whole, I'm not talking about you are going to go through life's challenges or whatever, but you are going to approach them from a place of being whole. So it is a pleasing exchange, because it's about adding value into each other's lives.
Sure.
Do you see what I'm saying?
That's deep.
And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience. Yeah. It's a beautiful space to exist in.
Oh, that's amazing. So for me, what I'm learning lately because of the scriptures is, so you know how you have expectations for reciprocation. She had that for that reciprocation.
Not that it matters, but you know, we done did it.
I'm learning not to let go of it.
Yeah.
In a sense that, you can only let go of reciprocation once you are filled.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's true.
So now what I mean is, and not only Mojolo, I'm not Mojolo, obviously you hope for reciprocation, but in other relationships as well, because even in Mojolo sometimes, because Raratana, yes, but I'm not, sometimes a person is not in a very good space at that time. Because we are human beings, you know, so I'm learning that allow something, or I'll say something, she'll understand it better. Like I'll say something like,
that is
wow,
the amazing, that is the amazing part.
What did I say, my friend? That's so deep. She'll say something, I'm like, whoa, it's just, you know?
That's true. That's why it's beautiful to exist within community, man.
So yeah, communities, that's the thing about it. We think differently.
Yeah.
And we can read the same thing, but we understand it differently.
Yeah.
And now, like I think among my friends, I'm the one who's like,
no, all of us are, just in different ways.
In different ways, yeah.
We find ourselves in moments where you're like, I'm gonna do this, and I will confess later.
I'll confess later. Yes. We have those moments.
We have those moments. Guys.
And then like I have a friend who write notes. She'll listen and write notes and be like, so first of all this, and then this, and then that, and I listen. But I also had to cultivate that listening heart, because I had to learn. Although the scriptures say, be humble, have a teachable heart, and I've benefited from those. And so community also needs for us to open our hearts to that.
Yes, it's true.
But some people have like trust issues because they've gone through the most as well.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. I mean, there's no one who will just approach any type of relationship without firstly, and the Bible does say guard your heart. So without being cautious, approaching with caution. But being in community has allowed me to grow so much more than what I would have if I was isolated or I was living in a toxic environment or existing in a toxic, community. So yeah. The light in itself, it's like, because we spoke about the light that shines in the darkness, and God is the Father of lights, right? And then you are then groomed into that light yourself as a child of God, right? And I was thinking about the fact that there are certain things that we try to make sense of, but there are so many things that don't make sense. And I think we have spoken about this thing before, that there's a lot of things that we are going to name for the sake of naming them, so that we can be able to exist with them or in them, right? But the truth is that life in general, if you really have to go into the detailing of everything, it does not make sense. Why are we bashing ourselves over how
the joy that just will irritate people, because like,
and the peace,
you owe me
and
money,
the craziest.
Why do you look so happy? I mean, I'm gonna pay, but can I be happy while I'm working on it? Yeah, well,
can I be happy while I'm going through what I'm going through this morning?
Can I be happy when I'm going through, when I'm pushing my car that's stuck in the middle of the highway?
And not be crying and hysterical and whatever, and sitting there like, okay, God is going to help us.
Yeah, and people are like, well, you got to help yourself. But anyway.
Like that's saying God help those that help themselves. It's not in the Bible. I've looked for that. It's not in the Bible.
I knew it wasn't.
No, I have, because people will be like, God helps those that help them. No, that's not in the Bible, guys.
Anyway, guys, you see why we should have events, like really, because we have a lot to say and we would like to get feedback. Maybe we'll go on Instagram Live soon. Because it would be nice to hear.
YouTube also can be live, okay?
let's do that.
Facebook
sometime.
also. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, let's
Should we start
have a
doing
live.
the live shows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on that note, unfortunately, because we understand issues of data and network
time.
issues, and yeah,
And some people just skim through the vlog.
yeah,
Then you skim through the most important parts.
yeah.
Just have a little bit of patience. Just watch it. You'll be amazed.
Yep. So thank you so much for listening.
But we love doing this regardless.
Yeah. And we hope that you got something from this.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you so much for your support and for your comments. Continue to subscribe and
Share, like,
press the notification button so that you know when we upload a new video.
and tell us if you should do live.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much from Lily.
And Senzi,
Goodbye.
goodbye. On why things are not making sense in a way that we want them to make sense. The scripture doesn't make sense, guys. It doesn't. But life in itself doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, it doesn't like the. Yeah,
It's
I
not a
don't even know
logical
how to say.
approach.
Yeah,
We're not going to have logical conversations about how it actually works.
yeah, like the whole scripture, the
Yeah.
whole existence of the Messiah going on the cross, waking up after 3 days. Some people like make fun of it, and I look at it and I'm like, okay, we are fairly intelligent people. It's not like it missed us that day. You know, it's not like it missed us and we were interacting. We just took in everything.
Actually,
in fact,
we existed there before we came here.
yeah.
Yeah, we existed there.
So, but when people do that for me, that's when I'm like, yo, this is dope because
Yeah.
something bigger has made me believe in this.
Absolutely.
And so for me, that's where I'm like, okay, this is like, for me, it's a moment where I'm like, wow, Father, thank you so much for
It's
this
like a moment of
revelation.
sobering up to grace. Eh?
Yeah, it's like, thank
Yeah.
you so much for that. And I don't become angry or anything. I understand. Like, for me, it's like, okay, I understand where this comes from. If we are taking it there, so then this is your work,
Yeah,
Father.
yeah.
It's not,
It
like,
has to.
you know, so,
It has to.
so that's supporting your point, Ahore. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
But it makes sense to me, like in a sense that I don't know how to put it. It makes sense for me to go through this because I'm reaping the benefits of it, and sometimes they're not financial, but they matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes it's just the joy that just will irritate people because like,
And the peace.
you owe me
And the
money, dude.
craziest
Why do you look so
situations.
happy? I mean, I'm gonna pay, but
Yeah.
can I be happy while I'm working on paying?
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Can I be happy while I'm going through what I'm going
Can
through
I
this
be
morning?
happy when I'm going through, when I'm pushing my car
And be
that's
at
stuck in
peace.
the middle of the highway?
And not be crying and hysterical and whatever and sitting there like, okay, God is going to help us.
Yeah, and people are like, well, you gotta help yourself. But anyway,
Like that's saying God help those that help themselves. It's not in the Bible. I've looked for that. It's not in the Bible.
I knew it wasn't.
No, I have, because people will be like, no, God helps those that help them. No, that's not in the Bible, guys.
Anyway, guys, you see why we should have events, like really, because we have a lot to say and we would like to get feedback. Maybe we'll go on Instagram Live soon. Yeah, because it would be nice to hear people.
YouTube also can